For our survival staff, we're going to try to make a frog, fish, spear, gig, whatever you want to call it. I've got 3 pieces of 1/8 inch cold roll iron and cut them off about a foot, 11 inches, something like that. And I'll show you what I'm going to put them in. 1/2 inch black iron plug that's going to screw into the 1/2 inch coupling we put into the end of the survival staff. Now in the end, I drilled 3 1/8 inch holes in the end, and as you can see, it goes down through. Now I just been a little crook, so to speak, on the end of each one of these to slide in and keep it from sliding through and give the epoxy something to grab hold of. Had to drill the holes out just a little bit bigger than that 1/8 inch. Actually, I used a 9/64 bit just to give a little bit of slop to get them in. It was a little tight inside, but got them. And so now I'll fill up that void with some 2-part epoxy, and with the little crooks on the end, hold them tight. Now as you can see, they just kind of naturally spread out, and should be able to find some rubber, squeeze these together, and put a little rubber cap over the ends right there just to protect it. And I think what I'm going to do is take a ball peen hammer, okay, find some good steel, and I'll set each one on and flatten it out and try to make a point, and then file them and polish them up a little bit so it has a little barb, so that you know, if we need to use it for fish or whatever, you can gig them, spear them, and the barb will grab a hold and not just slide out with a straight point, as I've seen with so many. Just used the 3 wires to stand it up, and mixed up the 2-part epoxy and filled the end, and just used another small piece of wire and just kind of poked it down in. Really couldn't find a good piece of steel, so I got these old hedge trimmers, and going to take our wire, just lay down here, and I'm just going to beat on it and flatten it out. Okay. Okay, now I've got each one flattened out a little bit. Now I'll just put them on a grinder and shape them and give each one a barb. On the end of our survival staff, if we screw our tip off, and then we bring our fish and frog gig off, screws right onto that coupling that we put in. And then you take the rubber protecting end off, which is nothing more than the rubber grip, is what I used, like off of a pencil kids buy for school. And there's my fish gig and spear. And I can spread it out a little bit or leave it close, and that's it. So that one is done, and we made it ourselves. Put the tip back on, Screw it out. Put the walking tip back on. And then we'll put it away. Take the ends apart. And we'll drop it down in. And I'll put the plug in first with the rubber at the end so that when I pull it out, those tips aren't hitting my fingers in my hand. And just put the end back in.